morning, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of PNEA's webinar series. I'm Charmaine Oleya Kapili. I'm the Executive Director of the Philippine Nickel Industry Association. On behalf of the Board of Directors and members of the Philippine Nickel Industry Association, I welcome all of you to the Nickel Initiative talks and webinars. So PNEA created this platform to encourage a dialogue among industry players and stakeholders, to learn from each other, to share best practices, and to exchange views on industry issues and trends. We're very grateful to all of you for joining our session today. So I think we have more than 40 participants that are here right now. And I can see from the dashboard, maybe we also have some friends from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, from the Mines and Geosciences Bureau, from some of the Chamber of Mines, and some from the European Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Also with us today are partner media friends from the region. So we have media friends from Zambales, Palawan, and Caraga. So maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Sa mga taga Surigao, sa mga taga Davao nga naa diha karon, daghang salamat sa inyong tanan, and thank you to each and everyone for your support. So just a few reminders before we start the program proper. So first, this session is recorded. It will be uploaded at a later time at the PNEA's Facebook page. So please follow and like PNEA's Facebook page so you can share the link of the video to your colleagues and friends. Second, videos and microphones of participants are disabled. So, however, we encourage everyone to also participate, which brings me to the third very important reminder. Please send in your comments and questions at any point during the webinar. You can see a Q&A button on your Zoom panel screens. So just click that and a box will appear where you can put comments, ideas, and questions. So later, during the open forum, we will try to read as much comments and answer as many questions as we can during this session. So please stay with us for another 1 hour and 30 minutes. And let's now move on to the main part of the program. The Nickel Initiative Talks and Webinars episode today is entitled Nickel Industry Pandemic Response in Partnership with LGUs. We've all experienced the massive impact of the pandemic, which affects all of us right now. So it's not just in Metro Manila, but also in to manage the challenge of this magnitude, it took every sector of the society to work with government to contribute in overall efforts to protect lives and livelihood. So much has been done since March. It's not just the mining companies. I think everyone is doing their part in their own little way. They're doing their part just to overcome this challenge, this global challenge. So we're still waiting for the vaccine. Maybe it will be available later this year or maybe next year. So while we're waiting for the cure of this pandemic, we have to learn from the experiences of our members and colleagues as they respond to the pandemic in collaboration to their host communities, local government partners. We would also like to know what are the challenges they encountered and how they managed these challenges. You know, the Filipinos are very resilient. So sometimes we have, despite of the pandemic, despite of the disaster, sometimes you can still hear funny stories. So later we can draw inspiration from their stories as well. The stories on ground. Our speakers today are frontliners as well because they are our community relations officer, our information officer, and they are the ones closely working together with the community and with the local government units. So we will share some of their stories later on the program. To jumpstart our discussion, we've invited one of our close allies of the LGUs. We have the Mayor of the Municipality of Carrascal, Mayor VJ Pimentel, as one of our resource persons, but unfortunately and understandably, he's very busy right now. But he generously made some time to send us a video message just to highlight what has been done together with the LGU because we have member mining companies that are operating in the municipality of Carrascal. So we have Carrascal Nickel Corporation, we have Mark Ventures Development Corporation, and we have CTP Mining Construction Corporation. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Immediately after the lockdown was declared, safety protocols in Carrascal were put in place. To comply with the directives of the national government, the mining companies were cooperative and were closely coordinating with the LGU's initiatives and efforts to help combat the spread of the virus in the community. In fact, the mining companies are members of the Municipal COVID-19 Task Force. CNC, CTP, and MMDC each submitted recommendations and safety protocols to us for the crafting of our unified protocol for mining operations. We merged all the recommendations of the three mining companies and added some provisions which form part of the unified protocol, in which, from executive order, we made local legislation on it through issuance of ordinance. Some provisions cited were adopted from the safety protocol issued by Philippine Nickel Industry Association, PINEA. The companies came up with their own IEC initiatives to help LGU Carrascal raise awareness regarding COVID-19. Since we are on a global pandemic, it is important to convey the right information and measures on how to combat COVID-19. The MMDC, CNC, and CTP each had their own public service shows on our local radio. The companies made sure that the participants strictly followed and observed the minimum health protocol, such as wearing of face masks and physical distancing. The mining companies also collaborated with LGU Carrascal to intensify relief operations for the communities. Similar with the effort of LGU Carrascal, they also distributed food packs and hygiene kits to the host and neighboring barangays for assistance. To support the effort of the local government unit of Carrascal in ensuring food security of the municipality, the three mining companies also supported the local program of LGU Carrascal, which is the Gulayan sa Panimalay. The program encouraged the communities to plant fruits and vegetables in their own backyard for their own consumption. The company supported the project through donating vegetable seeds. Mining companies work closely with LGU Carrascal to implement their Social Development and Management Programs, SDMP. In fact, LGU Carrascal is grateful for the effort of the mining companies in realigning the programs, projects, and activities that would greatly address needs of the communities in the new normal. Since this pandemic is a health issue, the mining companies have prioritized extending medical assistance to communities. For one, MMDC sponsored PhilHealth registration of numerous beneficiaries, gave assistance to emergency cases, and they provided medical supplies and equipment for hospitals and health centers. All three mining companies also donated face masks and rapid test kits to LGU Carrascal, and we were able to maximize it for the quarantine of our locally stranded individuals, LSIs, returning OFWs, and our frontliners. The mining companies recognize the value of education. Despite the suspension of physical classes, the three mining companies supported scholars through various scholarship programs, and majority of the student beneficiaries are from indigenous communities. One of the mining companies, MMDC, even subsidizes the salary of volunteer teachers assigned to different schools to bring down the teacher-student ratio and promote quality education. Companies are also closely working with the LGU in providing livelihood programs for locals. They provide rice seeds to farmers so that they can yield more crops and increase harvest and income. MMDC purchased farming equipment and even provided vehicles for the efficient delivery of farm products. The three mining companies work hand in hand with LGU in developing the local economy by helping organizations start their own business. Organizations are given seed money for their income-generating projects like tent and chairs, chair rentals, and pedicab services. In terms of the infra sector, mining companies have also supported and maintained existing and new infra projects. Two of the Priority infra projects of these companies are the building of farm-to-market roads, top ensure easy access to goods and services, and several housing facilities for indigent families in Karaskal.
Salamat Karajao, Mayor BJ, and hope you're also safe in Carrascal. So again, we have other speakers from our other member mining companies. We have other community relation officers of our PINEA members. So our next resource person is Mr. Alex Arabis. He's the community relations manager of the Platinum Group Metals Corporation. They're operating in Surigao del Norte, particularly in Claver, Surigao del Norte. So, hi Alex! Kamusta ka
Hi,
na?
good morning.
Good morning!
I'm good.
How are you? So, are you ready? This is our first time. So,
Yes.
yes. Thank you, Alex. I know you're very busy. So, Alex, we can already flash your presentation if you're ready.
Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, before I proceed my presentation, let me congratulate PINEA for holding this kind of event. This is very timely, especially to Cha, being the executive director of PINEA, and of course the officers of PINEA, especially to Attorney Dante Bravo, being the president of the association. So, good morning to everyone, to my fellow resource speakers and other participants, partners, and supporters of the industry. Good morning. So we are glad to share our response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the PGMC initiatives during the pandemic. So my presentation really focused on the assistance that we provided to the community. So as early as February, we started with a massive information education campaign when the local government of Claver initiated the forming of the IATF and invited all mining companies in Claver, about four. We have four in Claver. So we aggressively participated, and in fact initiated the IEC caravan because we know this is very important for the community to properly be guided and be aware of how they can manage and the information on the COVID-19. And also we invited DOH, because this is a health issue, representative from DOH, to talk about how to manage and prepare the community. And after that, since we also asked by the LGU and the province of Surigao del Norte to slow down in our operation, and eventually we were asked really to stop. So we stopped operating for about 2 months. So immediately we came up with a short and medium term plan so that those employees that will be affected will be assisted in terms of their immediate needs. So immediately we came up with assistance to our employees, especially those that are no work, no pay. There are about 300. So we provided them with food packs, as you can see on the screen. And the company also, out of its own pocket, provided 2,500 financial assistance to affected employees, those that are just about a week or 2 weeks reported for work. And since we temporarily stopped operating, so we distributed the relief assistance, of course, in partnership with LGU, because we need their assistance in identifying the residences, the individual houses of these affected employees. And after that, we have to think of immediate assistance to our host communities. Our host barangay is Cagdianao, and our neighboring barangay is Hayangabon. So we provided around 6.6 million worth of relief assistance. This consists of sacks of rice, canned goods, and noodles that benefited around 2,300 families under the two barangays. And after that, we also extended assistance to non-impact communities. In Claver, there are 14 barangays, and of the 12 of the barangays which are not really non-impact barangay of PGMC. So we provided around 1.3 million worth of relief assistance. So these were distributed to Barangay Kabugo, Panatao, Magallanes, Daiwan, Labdaron, Bagakay, Tayaga, Wangkit, Caganito, Orbistundo, Lapinigan, and Sapa. So based on our data, it benefited around 6,000 families of the 12 barangays. And after assisting our host, neighboring, and non-impact barangays within the municipality of Claver, we go out of our jurisdiction, but within the province of Surigao del Norte, we also extended assistance, relief assistance worth 1.2 million to selected municipalities. Most of them belong to 4th and 5th class municipalities. These are the municipality of Higakit, Bacuag, Placer, Mainit, Tubod, San Francisco, Anao-Aon, Malimuno, Alegria, Surigao City, and of course the province of Surigao del Norte. But the planning and distribution of these relief assistance are properly coordinated with the chief executive of each municipalities mentioned. Other recipients of our relief assistance are also IPs within Claver. There are about 350 families, and we also extended assistance to our frontliners, provincial and municipal people that manning our checkpoint, and of course the media, police, and military personnel. And after giving all the relief assistance, the medical supplies and test kits is very important. So we immediately came up with the program procuring rapid anti-test kits, the personal protective equipment like surgical masks, protective suits, goggles. So we procured these medical supplies and test kits around 1.2 million and release it to Caraga Regional Hospital, which is actually the primary medical hospital in the entire region of Caraga, the Surigao del Norte Provincial Hospital, the Surigao City Health Office, and of course the CRU of the municipality of Claver. And after those assistance are just considered as short and quick assistance, so we came up with a medium and long-term plan because we don't know yet when this pandemic will really end. No? So we came up with a program that can be sustained to our farmers that can be the source of their food, no? Food in the table. So this is the food security project of PGMC. This is the latest program that we are implementing right now in close partnership with the local government of Claver through its municipal agriculture's office, and of course with the assistance and technical expertise and support of the provincial government of Surigao del Norte under the provincial agriculture's office and the provincial veterinary office, and of course the BFAR. So this food security project covers three major projects, which is the communal gardening, the egg machine, and the aquaculture. So this will be implemented in the 14 barangays of Claver and selected municipalities within the province of Surigao del Norte. This will actually benefit around 3,332 families. So we are now rolling out this project. We already delivered partial cages of the ready-to-lay chicken, and some inputs of the communal gardening has been delivered, and finalizing also the design, the project design of aquaculture, and the discussion orientation of the recipients of this project. So we believe that this project will be sustained given the commitment of the local government and the provincial government, and of course, very importantly, is the recipient farmers, because they went through the very comprehensive profiling and orientation and They'll also participate because not all the inputs will be provided by PGMC. So they'll have a stake on this project because small tools and the cultivation of the sites and the project sites will be on their part. So they'll be the one to cultivate the soil and prepare the the site for the cages of the egg machine, and of course the site for the aquaculture. So this is a proven projects as discussed and proposed also by our provincial partners. And in summary, this is our contributions to the COVID assistance. All projects that we've mentioned earlier, funded by SDMP for around 18 million, CSR 4 million, and EPEP, we really have to thank NGV for granting our request to realign some of our unutilized budget under EPEP, which is around 9 million. So total amount that we've expended for this COVID relief assistance around 31 million. And out of that 31 million, 12 million is actually allocated to the food security program. So I just would like to mention some of our livelihood projects that are very promising and doing good. Even prior to the pandemic, we are implementing aggressively livelihood projects that will provide extra income for our communities. So these are the nursery and seedling production, actually composed of senior citizens and PWDs, benefiting around 27 beneficiaries and 135 families. And the egg laying production project also, 1.5 million project in our host barangay, benefiting 35 members. And we have also the tarpaulin and t-shirt printing of 1.8 million and with an income of 60,000 per month. And we have handicraft weaving projects with partnership of exporters in Cebu. We have 2 projects right now in our host and neighboring communities, and we are replicating and expanding this project to other barangays. So that would be all for my presentation, and if there will be other issues later on. So we just would like to inform our listeners and our participants that PGMC will always be at the forefront of implementing projects that will benefit our host communities and even the non-impact communities. Especially in this time of pandemic, we will always think of projects that will make the lives of people in the community more comfortable, and we will make sure that there will be no hunger in the municipality of Claver. And we are very glad that the mayor of Claver, Madam Georgia Gokianki, is very much proactive and always collaborating and discussing with us. We have actually some projects aligned with the COVID-19, like setting up a swab facility. And we just have actually approved the request of the mayor, Georgia Gokianki, for the provision of additional medical personnel, the medtech and the nurse, to help them do the management of the returning the LSIs from different provinces, different areas, to provide the necessary assistance. So it will be a continuing collaboration with the local government units of Claver and even with the provincial government of Surigao del Norte. So thank you, and good morning once again.
Thank you, Alex. I know you've been doing a lot of hard work on ground, and later we will talk about other stories that you can share on what you do in the site.
Yes, yes.
Hopefully, I can visit Claver soon. I miss the beach.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Alex. So we'll talk to you later again. So, okay, after Alex, we will move to our next speaker. Our next speaker is from Zambales, and Palawan. So we have Berong Nickel Corporation, Zambales Diversified Metals Corporation. We have Mr. Jonathan Pilien, who's the head of the community relations of Berong Nickel Corporation, Zambales Diversified Metals Corporation. Hi, Jonathan. Are you there?
Hi, Miss Cha. Good morning sa lahat.
Morning. Asan ka? Are you in Palawan, Zambales, or Manila?
Nandito po sa Manila.
Okay, good. So you have a good signal. So, kamusta,
Yeah.
Jonathan?
Mabuti naman. So far, so good din after kahit na ganito yung sitwasyon natin sa COVID-19, sa pandemic.
Okay, so are you ready, Jonathan, for your
Yes
presentation?
po, sige po.
Okay. Thank you, Jonathan, for your time. So the mic is yours.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Basically po, yung isi-share ko is yung experience ni DMCI related to SDMP, Community Development Programs, implementation. Tapos, ililink ko na lang siya doon sa COVID-19 response mechanism po natin. So, basically po, yung after DMCI took over full implementation ng Berong Nickel Corporation at saka ZDMC sa Zambales, yung BNC po ay sa Palawan, yung ZDMC ay Zambales. So, after it took over full implementation noong 2013, yung implementation po ng ating mga SDMP programs, Community Development Programs, ay dutifully sustained. So, tinuloy-tuloy niya yun. So, kasama yung social development programs na implemented sa 15 barangays. Tapos meron kasi kaming partner na mga IPs dito sa Berong Nickel Corporation. So basically yung aming royalty payments ay tuloy-tuloy namin siyang binabayaran for since 2013. Then of course yung iba naming mga corporate social responsibility projects ay aming ini-implement din ng gusto. So basically po, itong sustained implementation of community development programs natin ay nakatulong, naging tool siya, vital tool for community relations building doon sa ating 17 barangays, 3 municipalities, tapos 2 province, kasama pa doon sa regional level din. So itong community development programs nakatulong para mapalakas natin yung 4 na konsepto. Ito po yung una, nung nag-i-implement po tayo ng mga community programs natin, mas lumakas, nagkaroon ng positibong pananaw yung ating mga komunidad doon sa ating mga lugar na ginagalawan. At dahil may positibo silang, nagkaroon na ng positibong perspektibo pagdating sa minahan, mas napalakas yung kanilang idea na tayo ay responsableng mining companies, nagkaroon ng mas napalakas yung kanilang tiwala, at saka yung kumpiyansa nila doon sa ating kumpanya. At of course, hindi lang sa kumpanya, kung hindi doon sa ating industriya. Then of course, dahil may positibo ng perspektibo, tumaas yung kumpiyansa at mas lumakas yung tiwala ng ating mga komunidad sa atin, mas maganda yung naging relasyon sa komunidad. Hindi lang doon sa empleyado natin, kung hindi doon sa mas malawak na komunidad po natin. Then dahil po doon sa tatlo ding 'yon, mas malakas yung naging suporta nila sa atin. So yan po yung 4 na naging idea o mga kataga na nakatulong po sa atin doon para ma-build po natin yung ating community relations doon po sa ating mga komunidad. At ito pong mga 4 na interrelated ideas na ito, hindi bago po siya lumabas sa community, sa loob po natin ng kumpanya dinevelop. Unang-una, dahil naniniwala tayo na yung ating mga local employees na nandun din sa komunidad mismo, ay sila yung makakatulong sa atin para ipalaganap itong 4 na aspetong ito. So, dinevelop din natin sa ating empleyado mismo yung positibong perspektibo para sa ating kumpanya na tayo ay maayos na nag-ooperate. Itinaas natin yung tiwala ng ating mga local employees. Nagkaroon tayo ng maayos na relasyon sa kanila. At nagkaroon din sila dahil dyan, nagkaroon sila ng mas malakas na suporta para sa atin. At dahil sa kanila, ay naniniwala tayo na sila yung magtutulong sa atin para lumabas doon sa mas malawak nating aspeto ng komunidad po natin. Ito po dahil sila ay nakatulong sila para ipalaganap yung ating mabuting, yung positibong perspektibo, tiwala, magandang relasyon, stronger support doon po sa pamilya nila, kapitbahay nila, kainuman, o kung sino man yung nakakarelasyon ng mga empleyado natin doon sa komunidad po natin. Of course, nakatulong din sila ipalaganap doon sa mga ibang mga professionals po natin sa komunidad, police, barangay health workers, teacher, manginginom, kung sino ba, fisherman, women's group, mga lay workers natin sa community. Then of course sa youth po natin, ito po ay dahil sila ang workers natin, yung mga anak nila sila ang naging daan para ipalaganap yon sa ating mga ibang mga youth sa lugar at sa ibang aspeto ng komunidad. At huli, doon po sa mga local leaders natin, nakatulong po yung ating empleyado para ipalaganap na ito pong DMCI, ZDMC at yung Berong Nickel Corporation ay katuwang ng community at ng buong community pagdating po sa development po ng ating community sa lugar. So yung mayor, vice mayor, SB, pastor, pare. So yun po, kaya po itong konseptong ito ay napakalaking bagay para po nung ma-develop namin yung aming community relations sa aming komunidad. Basically, yung sinasabi kong yung pag-develop natin, pag-implement namin ng community programs namin sa IP, sa malawak na komunidad ng ginagalawan namin ay nakatulong doon sa pag-build namin ng relasyon o yung community relations namin sa lahat ng level ng aming community. At doon sa mga munisipyo at saka sa probinsya na ginagalawan po namin. And of course, kung makikita natin kung paano ba ito naglilink doon sa nangyayari ngayon, COVID sa atin, ang laki nung naitulong ng ating mga social development programs. Ito ay naging mekanismo para makatugon tayo doon sa pangangailangan ng community natin ngayon. So, basically, nung sinabi ng MGB, nag-realign tayo. Dahil marami ang mawawalan ng trabaho, nag-realign para makatugon sa pangangailangan ng ating community mula sa barangay hanggang sa municipal level. Then, of course, isa pa, support natin doon sa frontliners natin. Again, doon sa mas nangangailangan from the level of barangay hanggang munisipyo. Barangay health workers, municipal health workers, tanod na nagmaman doon sa mga checkpoint, PNP, police, at kung sino man ang involved doon sa frontliners natin. So, inabutan po natin ng support. Then, of course, within the municipal, provincial wide na suporta, for example po sa Palawan, tumulong po tayo doon nag-contribute po tayo doon sa establishment ng testing center sa buong probinsya ng Palawan. So i-access po yan ng mga around 23 municipalities ng buong Palawan. So, then of course, hindi po natapos doon yung ating social development programs. Ngayon, dahil may pangangailangan doon sa mga schools natin sa elementary, sa secondary levels, sa ALS po natin sa mga out of school youth na mga nasa alternative learning system po natin sa Berong at saka sa Zambales, ay tumutugon tayo doon sa pangangailangan doon sa modular learning education system ng DepEd ngayon. So magre-realign kami ng iba nating mga pondo para po makatugon, kasi sa ngayon yung ating DepEd ay kulang na kulang sa suporta. So nakikiusap tayo ngayon sa MGB3 sa MGB para ma-realign ito at makatugon po doon sa modular learning system ng DepEd. Now sa opisina naman po, we are revisiting yung COVID response protocol po namin. Kasi po based doon sa pangyayari ngayon, for example sa Zambales, napakahigpit po ngayon, hindi po nagpapapasok ng mga galing Maynila ng ganyan basta-basta na lang lamang. Nangangailangan ka ng testing, rapid test or swab test that na ito ay valid pa within 14 days. After 14 days, hindi na valid yun, hindi ka na papapasukin. So, nag-a-adjust po tayo dun sa mga local guidelines po ngayon. And of course, sa DMCI mining kasi dito sa Maynila, na-experience na namin yung meron kami nag-positive na mga empleyado. Ako nga, na-expose ako sa 3 positive na tao. But fortunately, hindi ako, after swab test, nag-negative naman tayo. Pero meron tayong mga empleyado ngayon na nag-positive. Now, nagkaroon kami ng mga, of course, yung mga experience na namin, learnings, kailangan namin i-translate into sa protocol namin. Kasi sa DMCI, may nag-positive na, pero and yet doon sa aming mga mining sites ay hindi pa. So, kung ano yung aming na-experience dito, kailangan namin i-translate doon sa aming mga site protocols doon sa Zambales at sa Berong Nickel. So yun po yung naging experience natin, na hopefully dahil sa ito ay makapagpulutan din po ng aral o ng aral ng iba nating mga nandito ngayon sa webinar po na ito. So maraming salamat po sa mga nakinig. Hopefully ito ay hindi una at huli. Sana meron pa tayong mga ganito para makapag-exchange po tayo ng ating mga learnings and experiences. Maraming salamat po sa lahat.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you po.
It was a very nice presentation, and I also miss visiting Berong. Sana makabisita ako ulit sa Berong.
Kailangan ng isang rule ni Palawan, 14 days quarantine din. So kaya hindi rin kami makapunta.
Next year na lang.
Yeah. Kaya ang meeting namin ngayon through Zoom at saka
everybody. Everybody's doing it. Kaya nga tayo ngayon, we're trying to do this webinar at the minimum na pwede nating ma-reach yung ating mga stakeholders, and we are very glad that medyo maganda yung participation ng webinar natin. Pasensya na po, this is our first time. We're just trying to, do whatever we can so that we can also reach all our stakeholders through social media. Kasi nga, ngayon po, talagang social media lang yung kaya nating pwedeng abutin kasi medyo mahirap talaga mag face-to-face. Yeah. And so thank you also. Thank you, Jonathan. Later, we'll get back to you for some more questions.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, for our next speaker, we have another stakeholder also from, our member also from Palawan. So we have the head of the community relations of City Nickel Mines and Development Corporation. She's also the administrative manager of the City Nickel Mines and Development Corporation. So today, we will be joined by Ms. Pamela Miguel, live from Nara, Palawan.
Hello.
Good morning, Ms. Pam.
Good morning, Ma'am Cha. Good morning po sa lahat ng kasama natin sa mga nag-a-attend ng webinar na to. Thank you for the opportunity po na mag-conduct tayo nito at naimbitahan po kami na mag-share din ng aming mga naging experience po.
Thank you, Miss Pam. And I know medyo mahirap po talaga ang signal dyan sa Nara. And kamusta na po kayo dyan sa Nara, Miss Pam?
Buti po, medyo mas maluwag na po, nakakatawid na kami going to Puerto na hindi na kinakailangan ng Apor. Though naniniguro pa rin po kami. Maayos naman po dito, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Pam. I know you're very busy. So maybe we can already start. If you're ready with your presentation, Miss Pam, you can already share your presentation. Thank you, Miss Pam. And please go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Again, we are here to share with you our experience during the pandemic with our COVID-19 response and social development programs. We realigned 3,700,000 pesos for the social amelioration support program under the realigned SDMP and for the provision of basic necessities such as goods. Basically rice, milk, vegetables, canned goods, instant noodles, vitamins, and over-the-counter medicines as requested by the different barangays. The total beneficiaries amounted to 4,718 households for our 5 host barangays. In Barangay San Isidro, the host community of the Toronto Nickel Mining Project of City Nickel Mines here in Nara, Palawan, we distributed 1,000 food packs to the community, to the residents of Barangay San Isidro. These items came from the realigned DMTG and IEC funds for 2020. The food packs contained rice, squash, which was abundant at that time. So in a way, we helped also the farmers who didn't have markets to bring to their produce, and milk, not infant formula, but for adults, and some coffee. For Española, the host municipality of the Pulog Nickel Mining Project of City Nickel Mines, we released 300 sacks of rice to the municipality as received by Mayor Akoy. It came from the DMTG and IEC realigned funds, while the 5 different barangays realigned their funds basically for rice as well. And then our head office directly released 10,000 rapid test kits to the provincial government of Palawan. This was done from Manila, and I think the test kits were landed in the airport in San Vicente, Palawan. Our remaining ASDMP for 2020 are basically education and livelihood projects. We still have some funds to release because the barangays did not realign all the funds. We also had other COVID-19 responses basically to the frontliners. When the lockdown was announced by President Duterte on the eve of, I think, March 16, and the lockdown affected the following day after that, a lot of residents like Naranyans were caught stranded in Puerto Princesa City because of the swiftness of the implementation of the lockdown. There was one thing we did it was basically a small thing, but it made us realize that big or small, we can really help the communities. We were the first to send rescue vehicle to transport the stranded residents of Nara in Puerto Princesa City. And soon after, many personalities, agencies were following suit. We also immediately released fuel as requested by the Barangay San Isidro captain to us so that there would have mobility in the barangays. For the scheduling of marketing activities of the residents, they used our donated, also as actually part of ASDMP 2020, I think 13, Barangay Elf service. We donated drums of diesel to ferry to Nara and back to the barangay for their scheduled daily marketing. We were also closely working, coordinating, helping, supporting the frontliners. We released just last week building materials for the construction of the additional barracks for the Marine Battalion landing team in Apo-Apo, Española. Because of social distancing, they're having quite a hard time fitting in all the existing barracks, and the commanding officer said that he pities the men on field who would come to rest after maybe a week of walking, patrolling the municipalities of southern Palawan, and then they go home to the camp. Still, they have no decent place to sleep in. They will just be sleeping in their hammocks. So these are continuous efforts that we do. These are post-COVID responses that we do. We still work closely with the community. We have remaining projects for ASDMP 2020 for the scholarship program of San Isidro, and then the Inyaran Daycare Center in Barangay Labog, and then monoblock chairs for Kulun Center, and then additional funds for the community service vehicle of Barangay Kulun Interior. One thing that basically, of course, we all responded to the COVID-19 crisis, and our responses would differ depending on the needs of the community and on the budgets that we have. But I think one good thing that came about, out of this pandemic is that the communities saw that we are here. Mining communities, the industry is here. We were the first responders. We are the ones who have the resources to respond, big or small. We are the ones who are here. We are still here. We are operating. Pre-COVID, during COVID, post-COVID, we are here. We are operating. We are a resilient industry. We are just like the Filipino people. We are resilient. And we remain relevant, especially now with SDMP. I think the communities, because sometimes they tend to ask for projects like infrastructure, especially during now, we are all used to the instant concept, instant noodles, everything is instant. So some communities, they are not that patient to do livelihood projects that they would not be able to immediately benefit upon. Excuse me. And they also would like, they have sometimes grand ideas, but I think the COVID pandemic is teaching all of us that it is really the basics that's most important. I so admire the program of PGMC, as mentioned by Sir Alex earlier, about the food security, because even jobs can be lost. But if you have something small, even small in your backyard, you would be safe, you would be secure to eat. I think one thing that the pandemic is teaching us. And I believe that with this pandemic, one of the lessons that the community is learning is that what we have been as an industry pushing for sustainable development, that it's not about madali ang mga bagay, it's really for the long term. I think they are realizing that, and what we are here for them. even now the government has lots of financial requirements to meet. Which industry is here to stay? It's us. Here in Palawan especially, we are not happy that the other industries are down, tourism, retail. We're not happy about that. But at least we can share. We are here to contribute to the community, not just with jobs, but also with sustainable development. And I think that's one good thing coming out of this. No, the communities would not think of mining companies leaving a ghost town. They have seen it for themselves at the worst of times. We are the ones who are here to stay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Pam. It was a
Welcome.
very good presentation from our member in Palawan, another member in Palawan, City Nickel Mines and Development Corporation. And I do agree, no matter how small we give, it has a great impact to our communities as well. So for everyone, pasensya na po if medyo may glitches tayo sa signal. As you all know, they are reporting live from the areas where we really operate like Zambales, Palawan, and Surigao, wherein medyo mahina po talaga ang internet signal natin. But thankfully, nakakalusot naman. So medyo we would like to apologize for a bit of glitches and delays on the signal. So thank you, Ms. Pam. Later, we will talk more about what City Nickel has done in Palawan, especially in Nara and in Española. So we will go to our next speaker. We have Joban Banyes from AMVI, so Agata Mines Ventures Incorporated. So Joban, are you there? Good morning, Joban.
Ay, may buntag.
I'm buntag sa imo dira.
Happy birthday.
Oy, thank you kayo.
Happy birthday di ay.
Salamat. So, dili man ta brown out diha karon sa Agusan, no?
Kaloy sa Diyos, dili pa.
Kamusta naman ka diha, Joban?
Well, okay lang. Still here, kuan pa. 3 months na quarantine in a work.
Si Joban po has been working long time na for doing community work in Mindanao. Even before he joined the mining industry, he was doing community work for peace and development in Mindanao and for community works, particularly in conflict-affected areas. So I met Joban again years after. So here we are with the mining industry. So Jo, are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, okay. I'm ready.
Okay, so the mic is yours. So please go ahead and share your slides.
Good morning to everyone. We would like to present our response in the COVID-19 pandemic. First, I would like to state first on the Mabakas program, our Center of Agata's Livelihood Initiative, which is changing minds and improving lives. Mabakas Techno Center of Agata's Livelihood. Our history is we established this in the late 2016. The name derived from the Mamano Award for Industrious. Mabakas evolved in the certified learning site in 2018, then an organic farm school and assessment center in 2019. We are now doing our activity for the community. We focus our livelihood initiative with the Mabakas Farm School. Our organic agriculture production in situ courses is we have 6 components: produce organic vegetable, produce organic fertilizer, produce organic concoction and extract, raise organic chicken, raise organic hogs, and raise organic small ruminants. Produce ang ano nito is they have to produce their own food. Scholars of Mabakas Demo Farm, learn how to grow organic food, farming and making concoctions. The learning we acquire are used not only for producing their own food, but also as a source of sustainable livelihood right at their own homes. COVID intervention through Mabakas. Sinight ko yung program ng Mabakas because ito yung isang ginamit namin with the community to intervene during the pandemic. With the directive from MGB to respond and realign SDMC funds for COVID-19 pandemic intervention, Agata is one of the earliest responder to aid its host and neighboring communities to secure food amidst threat due to the pandemic. Ang isa lang dito is we skip into the traditional inapa, odong, canned goods distribution. But what we did is on the onset, Agata distributed vegetable foods to the communities. Ito yung mga produkto na nila doon sa kani-kanilang mga communities. It contained relief packs were sourced from their local farmers. It provided farmers with an alternative market for their produce. For the fisher folks, Agata pump boat and paddle boat project for the fisher folk in the coastal barangays. We provided pump boat, motorboats, and paddle boats to help sustain their traditional livelihood. Today, the steady supply of fish helps sustain the prices of the community and their locality. For the livestock farmers, during the pandemic, transport restrictions during pandemic were a big challenge to community hog raisers. Agata brought their livestock and distributed it to the beneficiary communities, which helped sustain their livelihood. Now, with the ng COVID, tinitingnan rin natin yung IP communities natin. So, I would like to share our IP partnership with MADMO or the Mamanwa Ancestral Domain Management Organization. Napakalaking challenge for us dito sa IP royalty because kung ngayon nauuso na sa Facebook yung mga challenge, kami sa Agata may challenge kami doon sa hugutan ng itak. Yung halos aawayin ka na ng IP because we think royalty payment is it is a fund na sila lang ang gustong gumastos, sila ang gustong mag-decide kung anong gusto nilang paggastosan. Kung gusto nilang bumili ng sasakyan, bili lang sila ng sasakyan, o kung anong gustong maisipin nilang bilhin, gusto nilang bilhin. But here in Agata, talagang meron kaming discussion, meron kaming we have to spend the IP royalty sustainably. Na hindi ito kasi pag nawala na ang mina, paano na lang kayo? Paano na lang ang community ninyo? So, talagang pinaglaban namin, tinuruan namin, nakipag-discussion kami sa kanila kahit yun nga, may gusto ng magbunot ng itak. Inano namin na kailangang pagtulungan natin para gawin ito. Gawing tama ang dapat na pera na mapunta sa inyo. With that, IP royalty sharing is na ano natin 50-50%. 50% for the governance and 50% goes to the project talaga na makikita. So, with that, na ano naman natin, na-encourage natin sila to do their CRDP or Community Royalty Development Program. So, it was incorporated on SDMP's program na hindi lang SDMP ang tinitingnan. We harmonize it with our engagement with indigenous host through the Community Royalty Development Plan. CRDP guarantees the proper allocation of royalty share received by the Mamanwa Domain Management Organization into efficient and sustainable livelihood. Royalty expenditures, sabi ko kanina, is divided into 50-50. 50% governance and 50% the community development project. And they are implementing their projects now. They have now, ito yung mga bunga ng hugutan ng itak. Coconut farm of about 36 hectares, cacao na 23 hectares, meron rin silang palkata, abaka, banana, coffee, and fruit trees. They have there also corn farms. And in their tribes, doon sa communities na nila, individual communities, meron na ring mga sari-sari store, hog racing, goat racing, and other produce, livestock na ginagawa nila. We integrated the short, medium, and long-term income generating projects sa IP communities natin. With that, on the Mamanwas perspective, sabi nga nila, as an IP community, we are blessed because of the RP royalty share. This was actually not expected. Hindi nila in-expect na magkakaroon ng mina rito o magkakaroon sila ng ganitong royalty. But we recognize that the mining and royalty payments are not forever. Iniisip rin nila na dahil nga doon sa mga discussion, na tanggap na rin nila na hindi talaga ito forever ang royalty payment. Kasi mina nga naman, hindi talaga may hangganan rin. Then, sabi nila, today our achievements made us feel less discriminated. Because dati kasi, pag mamanwa ka, especially dito sa communities namin, pag may piyesta, parang halos andun sila, nangihingi lang, parang naghihintay lang na kumbigyan. But for now, sila na nag-iimbita. Pag may piyesta, sila nang gumagastos, meron na silang sariling scholarship program sa communities nila, and they even extended programs nila yung sa education, mga pagbigay ng mga school bags, school books, sila na nagbibigay, kasama na rin yung mga communities na non-IPs doon sa binibigyan nila. It raised our dignity, sabi nga nila, as people, as a community, and as a tribe. This is a legacy that Agata provide us. Yan yung sabi nila ngayon. And they presented this one doon sa PMCEA way back 2017. With that, I hope we shared our own experience doon sa COVID intervention and dito sa laganap ng magandang programa para sa IPs natin. As we say, starting it right, keeping the end in mind. Salamat, Karadjawja. Salamat sa mga naminaw. Maayong udto sa tanan.
Taga Caraga na ka. Kaya sa una, naman ka sa Muslim area sa una.
Sa una, maghuluhan no ta karon kay naanaman ta diri sa lugar sa Surigao noon ug Mamanwa.
Okay niya. Salamat, Jo. Classic kay na imuhang story no about Gukdanay og Sundang. So for those who are for those who cannot understand Bisaya, hinahabol po sila ng itak while implementing their program. So those are very classic stories that they experience on ground, and those are challenges that became a fruitful endeavor between the mining company and the IB community. So medyo malayo na ang inabot nila with in terms of development, developing their community. So Joban, thank you so much. So
Thank you.
stay on air. We bring the other resource persons for our open forum, but I think Maki, our web administrator, our Zoom administrator, has informed us that we have 50 participants right now. Aside from our PINEA members and officers, we also have some officers from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. I see that the Undersecretary of the DENR, Undersecretary Yusek Mitch Puna is here. Good morning, Yusek Mitch. Thank you for joining us. I know you are busy, but you joined our webinar today. So let's do a quick poll po, no? Let's do a quick poll. You will notice in your screen that there's a poll question. So simplihan lang po natin yung poll question natin, no? So these are the questions. So just choose one. So no, A, expand COVID-19 testing. B, strengthen contact tracing capabilities. C, build isolation and treatment facilities. D, increase distribution of social amelioration fund. E, create livelihood programs. F, provide support to MSMEs. Strengthen support for online schooling. H, conduct programs for unemployed. And lastly, open the economy and business establishment. So polling is starting right now, so we can see that our participants are voting. So later we will go back to our poll. So please vote in to our polling question, and then later we can discuss the results of our poll questions. Okay, so while we're doing the poll survey with our participants, I would like to ask some few questions to our panelists. But first, we are also joined with one of our key officers of PINEA, or the key officer of Mark Ventures Development, Mark Ventures Mining Development Corporation. Is the Senior Vice President of Mark Ventures, Mr. Maki Alcantara, the Senior Vice President of MMDC. Hello, Maki, are you there?
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Hello, Maki. Okay, so Maki, as one of the leaders of your company, so I'm sure COVID-19 has been very challenging, and I've been talking to you since the lockdown. We've been talking wee hours in the morning just to finalize our protocols, the challenges that we have for shipment and whatnot. So going back and forth to GUs, how to support the community, because this is really our first time. So I want to know from your end, so while all of these challenges has been happening, Maki, how did you motivate your employees during these very challenging times?
I told them, kasi prior to the international lockdowns that happened, I had to travel to Tokyo for a meeting. And one of the things I realized, kasi medyo nagsa-start na siya sa Japan noong time na yon. Fortunately, I was able to come home before anything happened. No? But the Japanese talaga, they were living, they had learned to live with it from the start. They wore masks, diba? They keep the kind of culture na ubuhin ka lang ng konti, they will ask you to, or personally, they will wear masks. So I told our people na this is a new disease. There's no cure for it yet. We have to learn to live with it. We have to continue doing our jobs to help, the communities, to help the LGUs. Diba? So, in spite of the difficulties of going around, I highly encouraged our, I highly encouraged our social, our comrade people to try and do an IEC campaign. Even if we had to do social distancing, we had brochures. We prepared brochures. We prepared a radio show. Diba? To inform the people of what MMDC is doing to help. Secondly, it was very difficult to source masks and PPEs. They were not available in Manila. One of the things we did was we asked our partners, our buyers, if they could provide us. So MMDC was one of the first companies to have a shipment this year. I think that was around between March to April. And in that first shipment, there were deliveries of donations for masks and PPEs, which we of course shared with the LGUs in our area, specifically Carrascal, Cantilan. And then another thing that we did was, chismis pa lang yung lockdown. We met with the officers and we planned work from home protocols. When the lockdown was declared, we already had a manual of operations to combat COVID. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I was informed that we were cited for best practices by the ECOP. So tinutuloy-tuloy lang namin. We procured test kits for ourselves and for personnel in the mine site, for our contractors. Anything and everything that the LGUs need to help combat COVID, we've been working hand in hand with them. And we placed the site in a very strict lockdown of our own, where we, it was a LGU declaration that there would be, or regional declaration that there would be no people coming off the vessels. And, we pride ourselves in saying that we have been very strict about that. So as much as possible, we try to, our primary goal is to protect our host communities from the pandemic. So our people who have interactions with people from the vessels, we have a disinfection tent from the pit and from the vessels. We make sure they are tested regularly. So that's it. That's part of the things that we've done, and that we continue to do. We try to continue to improve. We try to learn from our neighbors, from the best practices that CNC and CTP are currently doing now in PGMC.
So, Maki, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Congratulations for your new promotion as Senior Vice President of MMC.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Also, I've been working closely with Maki during the lockdown, with CTP, CNC, all of the officers of PINEA, because we were trying to quickly craft the protocols, quarantine protocols for our community, just so to give peace of mind and of course to secure that our communities will be healthy and safe during the pandemic. So, going back to our polls, may winner po tayo sa polls natin, no? So the winner is create livelihood programs. So we have 29%. So it's really more on creating more livelihood programs. I think this is going to be one of the most interesting discussion that we can do together with our panelists. So I can start with PGMC, Sister Alex.
Hello, Cha.
Yes, I know one of the core things that you've been doing with PGMC is food security. So ito talaga yung pinaka, parang this has been your key programs right now, given that there's pandemic. And I know even before the pandemic, PGMC is one of the members of PINEA who has been doing food security programs. So, Alex, how did you sustain this? I was able to visit your poultry farm in, I forgot the name, but there near the mine site. Pinuntahan natin yung poultry farm. So, how were you able to sustain this, Alex? How was it able to help the community, especially now na may pandemic?
I'm actually happy to know also na based on the survey, ang parang nangunguna talaga is really the livelihood, no? So it's really one of our priority also. We wanted to intensify our efforts to implement social enterprise projects that will actually align with the food security and of course giving extra income to the communities, no? So the question, how are we going to sustain? It's actually involved a lot of factors. First is the identification of recipients and of course the type of project that we are going to implement, no? That's very important kasi given na yung funding, because we have SDMPs and in fact here in Caraga, we have a guidelines that at least 40% of our budget under SDMP should really be allocated to livelihood projects, no? But not just for the sake of implementing livelihood projects. It has to be well planned. It has to be market driven, because that's very important. You cannot turn around if you don't have market or to buy your products, no? Yung mga produce na mga mga people's organization natin. So the sustainability is also very important for us, no? Though every year may mga allocation, pero sustainability is very important. One of the major factors we are actually adopting to make sure that projects will really sustainable, it has to be viable in all aspects, no? Kung kaya man lang, no? In all aspects. Yun, first, yung people that will manage the social enterprise. So, dapat hindi lang yung dahil in-endorse ni ganito, in-endorse ni kung sino yung mga personalities in the community, in the barangay, dapat pinoprofile sila if they really have the passion and the skills, no? Second, they have to be capacitated, meaning we have to provide the necessary training, kung ano yung kailangan na ibigay sa kanila.
Yeah.
And third is also the partnership. No? It has to be industry-driven. Kung ano yung produkto mo, dapat you really have to partner with experts in the industry, which actually be the one to inject the technical expertise and knowledge kung paano nila gawin yung mga produkto na kailangan mo introduce. No? And that industry experts can also be your buyer, no? Who will buy your products para makaka-turn around na. And second, it has to be in social enterprise business, actually the financial recording is very important, and the financial know-how of these people that will manage, dapat alam nila yon, no? So dapat undergo mo sila ng mga basic na mga financial literacy training, and we also actually engage an independent bookkeeping and auditing firm, no? For our POs or recipient of our projects that will guide them know how to properly record their financial transactions. And in fact, we also require them to open an account with a bank. We have partnership with Land Bank and DBP to make sure na lahat ng mga inflow, outflow of their financial transactions will be properly recorded. Walang cash kasi tempting yung cash. No?
Okay.
So, ganun yung mga, it has to be professionalized actually.
Okay.
Kailangan mo silang i-professionalize for them to be sustainable, for the project to be sustainable. And kami din, mga first few months, kailangan silang i-handhold. No? Kasi even if you will conduct trainings, may mga limitations yung kanilang mga, yung how they comprehend things. No? So they have to be handholded until such time that they're independent na to run the business or the social enterprise business.
So let me interrupt you first now. So we have a question from our friend from PIMEA, Mr. Joey Aison. So I think we only have 6 minutes left. So I would like to request our panelists to answer this question very quickly. Let's maximize our time. So the question is for our panelists. I will ask all our panelists to answer this, but please answer very quickly because we're also trying to catch up with time. So for everyone, are the companies still realigning their SDMP now? So I think there was a realignment for COVID response. So are you still realigning your SDMP? What happens to the projects that the funds are previously allotted? So sa previous allotment natin, ano ho yung nangyari, no? And how have we contributed in providing significant new employment to the Balik Probinsya initiative? So I think everyone can give an answer to this question. So let's answer na lang po quickly because we have barely 6 minutes na lang po. So who would like to answer the first question? Anybody who can volunteer?
Yung sa education program, meron kasi kaming programa na parang educational transport sa community, sa mga elementary student namin at high school. Now, hindi sila pumapasok eh. So walang educational transport program. Now, ang need kasi ng DepEd ngayon is yung para may palaganap yung kanyang modular learning system. Eh kulang na kulang sila sa bond paper, ink, sa printer, and doon kami nagre-realign ngayon. So nire-request namin yung MGB 4B na may cover ng Berong Nickel Corporation para ma-realign itong 890,000 na educational transport to respond dito sa need for modular learning system, yung kanilang mga school supplies. So, yun po yung isa ang kinukuha natin.
Okay, Jonathan. So, next, who's going to answer? Si Jonathan Banya.
Amin sa
Agata.
Same kami ni Tukayo sa ano. Yung sa education, actually hindi siya ni-realign, but yung ano lang kasi because dati bags and balik eskwela program, but now doon na sa yung modular ano nila program ng DepEd, which is yung sa mga bond papers nga kasi yun ang kailangan nila ngayon. And we have also ang ni-request nila is mga copying machine para doon sa reproduction ng mga modules nila. So doon ang realignment natin. Actually not realignment but yung ano lang, yung hindi yung funds ang ni-realign but yung dapat na bilihin sa program ng DepEd.
Okay. So, Miss Pam, ano po yung pwede nating masagot dun sa question? For City Nickel? In Nara and in Española, Palawan.
Ang isa pong remaining funds for 2020 SDMP yung sa scholars po. Na as of now, ang barangay, on the process pa sila ng pag-collate ng mga dokumento, sino yung maririlisan. Pero marami rin talagang needs, lalo na po sa elementary school dito. And eventually, pinagbibigyan lang naman po namin ng barangay kung madeterminan nila na i-realign yun, then we request it sa MGB. Although as of August 31 po, July, tigil po muna ang realignment sa MGB 4B po.
Philippine Nickel Industry Association, and we would like to thank everyone who joined us today. This concludes the first episode of the Nickel Initiative webinar series on behalf of the Philippine Nickel Industry Association. I would like to thank everyone for joining us today and for being a part of this session. So we will keep you posted for upcoming scheduled webinars. Details will be available on your Facebook page and on our website. So please follow and like our Facebook page. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you all a good day and stay safe.